Hi, y'all. Carrie Stevens here from the Moody College of Communication at the University of Texas at Austin. And today we're going to be talking about how do you make yourself look good whenever you're teaching and using video at the same time. Now, some of you might find the idea of thinking about this in great detail a bit stressful, so feel free to skip this video. But for those of you who are curious, come on with me. I'll show you some slides, I'll show you some examples, and let's see if we can't craft a slightly different environment moving forward. So let me share my screen and get things started. So first of all, I'd like to pull the curtain back and I'd like to take you into my environment and show you what's behind this background that I have. The concept I'd like for you to keep in mind today is the idea of satisficing. This is a term that was coined by Herbert Simon, who ended up winning a Nobel Prize in economics for the work. And essentially, he said that usually being good enough is going to be fine. Our goal here is not perfection. So as I pull back the curtain, this is what my environment really looks like. This is what I'm looking at right here. You can certainly see it's not perfect. So let me walk you through a few key tips and things that I have done. The first thing is I do have an external camera that I'm using. And you can buy those. They can be relatively inexpensive. I actually stole the one my husband had. He had to go out and buy another one. And it's made a really big difference. I like it because I can position it on the top of my screen. And so I have a little bit of control over how I'm going to use this camera. The next thing to think about is light. I have natural light in the room where I'm working, and it's kind of off to the side to me. So what I've also done is I have a desk lamp right over here that kind of balances out the light on either side. The next trick that I'm going to share with you has to do with my remote mouse. It's right here in my hand. This is what I'm using to advance my slides and my animation. I use this same thing whenever I'm teaching in a real classroom, and I just found that it really helps me not have to look down and click every single time that I need to. It's pretty natural, actually. I also have a little green sticky note right up there, right next to my camera. And what it does is it reminds me where to maintain my eye contact. It also serves as kind of a focus point to help me remember to not move around a whole lot, because that can be very, very distracting whenever we're on video, especially when people are on low bandwidth video. The next thing is this right behind me. I'm going to turn around and show you that bookshelf. It used to be against my far wall. I'm going to show you in a minute how I moved it to create my space. And the last thing is I do have a sit-to-stand desk that I bought at IKEA for about $150 a year and a half ago. And it makes a really big difference because sometimes I choose to stand and it gives me more energy whenever I'm recording videos. So let's think about lighting for a minute. I did do a little bit of photography. I've had a lot of fun with that. And probably the top thing I've learned is to think about your lighting. So this first picture is really what I try to use. And quite often I will turn off my overhead lights and I'll let my natural light and my lamps light the front of me. Now, whenever I turn on these evil lights right above me that have a bit of a warm light bulb in them, you'll see what happens to me. I end up with really serious circles right around my eyes. Trust me, when you're my age, you don't need any more circles around your eyes. What else is in my space? Well, first of all, right over here, I don't even have a door because I took over my formal dining room. But you know what? I'm making it work. The space has great acoustics, and that's nice. Now, behind my bookshelf right here that I moved up, that's what it looks like. There's a piano and another bookshelf. Over on this side, you'll see that this is a picture of my entire room, and that evil light above me, as well as my overhead light behind me, which is actually not too bad. I really encourage you to play around with the lighting that you have access to and see what works best for you. Now, if you only have a laptop, and this was exactly my situation whenever I moved home to work, whenever we were quarantined during COVID-19, that was the only video camera that I had. And so I figured out several things to make those work. First of all, laptops are portable. It's great. You can face a window. You can get that nice natural light on your face. The second thing is you want to know where your camera is located. A lot of times your camera on a laptop will be at the top of your screen, but sometimes it's the bottom. Have you ever seen people's fingers typing? It's because chances are their camera is actually at the bottom of their screen. So I have a tip for that in a minute for how to help with that. First of all, you might consider propping your laptop up and getting that camera to eye level. You notice I didn't use anything fancy. It was my extra office supplies I used to prop it up. And also an external keyboard that will actually keep your fingers out of view of other people. And you can get those pretty inexpensively today. So this is what happens when you don't prop your laptop up. You're looking down at people. And then when you lean forward, it's, pretty close to people being able to see right up your nose. So just raise it up, get that eye level contact, and a laptop can look pretty good, even using that built-in camera. I want you to think about making your space work. We all have different spaces. This is my daughter's space, and she faces a window. That window gives her nice natural light whenever she's on camera, but she also likes to look outside. She also uses a headset. The acoustics in her space are not great, and she finds that's really helpful. If you can get 2 monitors, that's also a great help. And monitors have also come way down in price. So that's a thought. And then finally, treat yourself to your favorite beverage every once in a while. Hers is Starbucks, and we go and get them curbside about once a week. It's a nice little treat. In this environment, your confidence can really get shattered pretty quickly. And one of the things that you might want to consider doing is turning off the video where you can't see yourself whenever you're talking. A lot of people find that really distracting, and it can affect your confidence. Another thing that can help with confidence are thinking about the clothes that you're going to wear. Really try to avoid crazy patterns, and it could be what you think is a pretty simple pattern, but when it gets on camera, it almost looks like a disco ball. And also consider your colors not being too extreme, so extreme dark, extreme light. Cameras have trouble adjusting to that, and so give that some thought as well. I would highly suggest professional dress, especially if you're going to be teaching. I asked my college student age daughter what she disliked the most from her professors, and one of the top things was when they showed up in a white t-shirt and it looked like they'd just come in from tennis. She was like, what am I supposed to be learning from this person? So it really told me I'd better step up my game and look just as professional on this kind of a setting as I would whenever I'm teaching in class. Consider wearing some makeup, and this is a gender neutral suggestion. Whenever I was doing some work on the studio recording videos, I noticed that every single person who did work on camera had their little cosmetic drawer in the dressing room, and they would at least put a powder puff on before they got on camera. If you're curious if your eye contact is correct, and if you want to know what you look like, I highly recommend you do a nice little control print screen and then paste that right into a Word document, and you can see exactly how others are seeing you on the screen. I wish that I were as carefree as my cat, but I'm not. So I really want you to remember, satisficing is the way to go here. We're not trying to get it perfect. We're trying to get it good enough. I haven't had a haircut since February. Sure looking forward to one. I also am not in a fancy recording studio, so I've had to make the best of what I have here in my house. I like candles to make me happy. And then the other thing that I do is I look for ways to try to help others. I really hope that you found this video helpful today, because that was my goal, to take a little bit of the mystery out of what happens behind the screen. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I really hope that these tips will help you be well on your way to feeling more confident as you work with video cameras and present things and teach on screen. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.